People taking a little bit designer with the duct tape. Duct tape on the cap, holds the goggles on, and holds the caps on. It's one of the things that you see in open water swimming.
2 minutes, ladies. 2.
So we got 2 minutes to start.
Total swimmers, 31.
31, acknowledged.
Got some openings to have some impact made by some swimmers who haven't necessarily been on the open water scene.
One minute, ladies.
Okay, we got 1 minute to start.
So as the ladies are inside, 1 minute for their start, just take a look at this beautiful course there. See the great staff here from Castaic Lake. The guards out there on their board staged and ready. Multiple safety boats in and around the swimmers. Really appreciate the folks here at Canyons putting on a great show for us. The staff here at Castaic Lake, as always, very helpful and supportive. We appreciate you guys and ladies. Couldn't do it without you. As we get ready to start the Women's 5K National Championship, folks on the beach, let them hear ya.
15. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to go right to the inside, everybody. So, sorry, I made you. No, you're good.
Okay, so we're off, and just like in the men's race, we're going to see a heightened pace as the swimmers take into this 5-kilometer race, 3 laps around the course.
Let's get down a little bit.
Haley Anderson, as mentioned, current world champion at this distance, setting out strong. It's really endearing to see the two sisters, Anderson sisters, there at the start line, laughing it up, giving each other high fives. But Haley's definitely stepped it up and moving away from the crowd. Kind of 2 packs developing here early in the race. The one led by Haley has a little bit more of a direct line toward the buoy.
Admin to route 1. Official start time at 9:28:48.43. 31 swimmers.
So we have 31 swimmers in the start of this 5K. Very, very strong. It takes a lot to get to this level. And to see this many strong swimmers sure bodes well for USA open water swimming. Saw tremendous success in 2013 with Haley winning the gold medal at the World Championships, Emily Brunerman pulling down the FINA World Cup Series Championship. Women's open water in the United States has been very strong for the past few years. It's exciting to see as a number of swimmers keep making the transition from the pool to the open water. As Haley takes the lead, one thing that in talking with Haley over the last year I've noticed is she's more thinking of herself as an open water swimmer. I think early on she really identified with her pool side, but her confidence has grown after the London silver medal performance. carried that with her last year, and certainly looking good here as she opens up a very, very solid lead. And there's a couple other women getting ready to make a go of it with her, and one of them is Eva Fabian. Certainly that's going to be someone we're going to keep a close eye on. As we get closer, I'll be able to identify more clearly who the other swimmers are in this pack. But right now, it's the veterans, Haley Anderson, Eva Fabian, making a big break early on, setting a very, very solid pace. So now Fabian's taking the lead around the first buoy. It goes to Fabian. Behind her, Haley Anderson. Fabian here closest to the boat with the Yale cap on. I'm sure she's done a lot to secure that Yale cap after nearly losing it at the end of the 10K. We had some laughs after that race. She was laughing about how she made it just to the very end there. Christine Jennings now moving up into the pack. Remember, one of the advantages Christine Jennings brings to this is not only the tremendous experience, but she's coming down from training in Boulder, Colorado. She lives and trains, and her body's well adapted to the altitude. Comes down low and, of course, has that advantage. Also in the third position is Casey Jernberg, Schroeder YMCA. So the rest of the pack is caught up a little bit. I thought we might see an early break and see one of those races where 3 or 4 of the swimmers took it, and that was where it was going to come from. But we've settled into a little bit more relaxed pace as Haley and Eva just settle in right next to each other, working side by side.
Okay, we need the following athletes. Please come see Bryce over here at the tent labeled Athlete Bag Check. Bryce will meet each of these athletes or a representative. Taylor Abbott, Simone Lamar, or correction, Simon Lamar, Timmy Hansen, and Michael Brenniger. Other swimmers include Brendan Casey, Jared Koskewal, Logan Hauk, and Liam Egan. These 8 athletes, please see Bryce over here at the Athlete Bag Check tent. Taylor Abbott, Simon Lamar, Timmy Hansen, Michael Brenniger, Brendan Casey, Jared Koskewal, Logan Hauk, and Liam Egan.
Thanks for ordering the breeze.
See a lot of bilateral breathing in open water swimming. It's very advantageous to be able to look on both sides. Haley Anderson now just rolling over on her back, taking a little bit more relaxed. She set the pace pretty strong at the beginning. One of the things, of course, we continue to watch is looking at who's really busting it out there and who's looking a little bit more relaxed.
Yellow just went way back real quick.
But right now, Eva Fabian, Haley Anderson here in the lead. Eva slightly in front. that's kind of interesting looking back at yesterday's men's race when Ryan Feely made that big break. One of the things I talked to him a bit afterwards was sort of his size really kind of precludes him from getting a good draft from anybody. So he's kind of got to look at that and take that in consideration and really make a push for it. And so we look for that too in the women's race. Of course, a strong swimmer who's a bit smaller has a better ability to get in and ride the draft. Right now, Christine Jennings in a very advantageous position. Not really boxed in. Getting a little bit of assistance from the leaders. Haley Anderson with the most relaxed stroke rate.
Folks here on the beach, take a look out across the water as Mike Lewis describes the action here at Lake Castaic. Perfect conditions. Big pack out in front. A reminder, if you weren't here for the men's race, you can head on down to the point as the ladies make their way through circuit number 1 and be along the beach area there to encourage them. We'll hand it back to Mike.
It has to be on your wrist. Go.
You got it. Okay. Can you watch clear my back, please? Clear?
What number was she?
27. Delise Bratza, road runner, just lost one of her timing chips, so she came over to the boat, got a replacement. Now she's back underway. We're making our way back up towards the front. It remains Haley Anderson, Eva Fabian, getting a little bit more of that chop. That's forecast, getting some more wins up here as the day progresses. That's much more of a factor as we head in this direction down the lake. As the swimmers head into the wind.
Joe, good job.
So still in the lead, Eva Fabian next to her. Haley Anderson. Back behind them, we've got Christine Jennings, Kelsey Cummings of Club Wolverine. Erin Ernry of Sandpiper, Nevada. And it looks like Caitlin Powitz of Nations Capital is also in that group of 4 behind the leaders. Tristan Baxter back in about the 6th position now. Tristan, a current national team member. But this pack has reconvened. It's about 25 strong or so. At this point, the entire field is about 50 meters front to back. Eva putting on a little bit of a push as Christine Jennings slides up a bit. Eva with a very, very high stroke rate, 96 strokes per minute. She's really putting it on. She's kind of known for that. That's her style of swimming. Christine Jennings looking smooth in the third position. Haley Anderson in the second position. Coming along the first tetrahedral buoy here on the west side of the course, or more the south side of the course actually.
So the ladies are working their way through circuit number 1 here, approaching the 4th buoy as they'll parallel along the beach. Great vantage point down there, just a couple hundred yards down the beach. Go down there and take a look at this action up close. It's awesome. So the ladies are making their way around that final buoy, buoy number 4 through circuit number 1. Hard to tell from our vantage point. Looks like it may be Eva Fabian out in front. We'll check back in with Mike Lewis here momentarily, and he'll give us an update.
So coming up the front stretch now, Eva Fabian with the lead, Haley Anderson in the second position, Christine Jennings in the middle of that pack of 3. Kelsey Cummings in there. Well, with Erin Ernry, pace is slowing up just a little bit here.
We need to see Taylor Abbott or a representative or coach of Taylor Abbott. Please report to the athlete bag check-in tent. Bryce would like to visit with you. He's stationed in that area. Taylor Abbott or a representative to the athlete bag check-in tent. Ladies now making their way up along the point here as Eva Fabian and Haley Anderson, top 2. Be sure and check out the webcast, folks. We've had lots of great feedback on the webcast today. Folks up and down the beach checking in to see the action up close. I'd like to welcome all you folks out watching on the World Wide Web. Great to have you. The guys from Take It Live doing another great job for us here at the 5K Open Water National Championships.
Well, the swimmers are, of course, moving through the water. There's an optical illusion if you're looking on the webcast. It looks almost like they're standing still as the wind blows up there with them, but they are moving. But it is kind of interesting. In the middle here alone, here's Eva coming up to what would traditionally be where the feeding station was. She just took a gel pack very quickly, very efficiently. Haley Anderson inside, closer to the shore from her. Behind Eva, closest to the boat. That's Erin Ernry of Sandpiper. Christine Jennings in the middle. Jessica Cummings up there behind Haley Anderson. Caitlin Powlett's right there behind Haley as well. Reagan Kalaji in there. She was really in the hunt during the 10K as well. So she's doing that plain yellow cap. Now the field's kind of separated out here.
And from the beach here, you can see the lead boat and pack getting ready to wrap up circuit number 1 of 3. What a spectacular day here in Southern California. Folks at Canyons Aquatic Club, the staff here at Lake Castaic have ordered up us a great weekend of weather, great hospitality. Speaking of hospitality, stop on by and see the ladies in the hospitality tent. They got quite a spread, including a big old batch of pancakes they'd love to give you guys that wrapped up your race. Stop by and see them. So, Mike, it looks like a pretty relaxed pace out there through the first lap. Ladies beginning to spread out just a bit.
That is true. It has relaxed just a little bit. Again, it creates a bit of an illusion with the way the wind is blowing slightly up course. They're still moving pretty good, but it has been relaxed. Here we are, first lap here past the start mark. And we've got 2 distinct lines being set right now. Closest to the beach in the white Trojan cap, that's Haley Anderson. Nearest the boat, Eva Fabian. It's going to be kind of interesting to see. It looks like Haley's breaking ever so slightly away from her pack. And again, we'll see these women reconvene as we get closer to the tetrahedral buoy on the north side of the course. So our friend Steve Mutonis out here, open water expert, just brought up something very interesting, that Haley Anderson currently has a stroke rate of 84. During her sprint, during the 10K, she was up to around 96. So she still has a differential that she can pull, and she has opened up a lead as I look just straight across, even though we still have these 2 lines that have distinguished themselves. Very important to put a lot of fluids on board before the 5K, given that we're not having the feeding station. And that's according to FINA rules, that any race 5K or under doesn't mandate a feeding station. The athletes will carry the gel packs with them. But carrying hydration is obviously not possible, so they want to get a lot of water on board, not too much water. You don't want to be bloated as you're swimming. But that's that balance you have to strike. Haley now really kind of opening up a lead. Eva's dropped back a little bit. Again, line of sight, straight across. It'll definitely probably come a little bit closer once we get in towards this buoy.
Haley Anderson looks very solid out here, folks. If you don't have the opportunity to check in on the webcast, Haley, a veteran, as Mike told you earlier today, 5K world champion out of Trojan Swim Club and Team USA. She looks super, super easy out there. Nothing in terms of a kick, just a light stabilizing movement from her feet. Eva Fabian now off the pace just a bit, but as they angle into this buoy, we'll hand it back over to Mike and let him describe the action for you. Keep it up, Mike. We love it.
Well, coming around that buoy, Haley Anderson retains the lead. Eva Fabian in that second position. Jessica for Club Wolverine in the third position. Fourth position, Christine Jennings, Kaylin Powowitz, Nation's Capital in the fourth position. Tristan Baxter in the fifth position. Reagan Kalaji in the sixth position right now, and it looks like those women are pulling away as a pack ever so slightly. But it's apparent right here on being right on top of them that they definitely have a different amount of energy in that pack. We've talked about that a few times over the course of the weekend. This energy that the pack exerts as a collective, not necessarily any one individual, although individuals do set the tempo, it's particularly in the lead positions, but it's interesting to watch as this unfolds. Now coming around this buoy, Eva on the inside. Oh yeah, that was a bit of a tough turn. They were really, really tight, but Eva was on the inside. She's now got the lead. Haley up top, ever so slightly, kind of getting into that real sweet spot of the draft right there. Haley very relaxed. Her stroke rate looks like it's come down 2 or 4 strokes per minute.
So we'll throw a question out to Mike Lewis. Mike, hopefully you can hear us. We saw Eva take the lead there through that turn, and it almost looked like Haley just relinquished that to her. With the wind just being just a bit more here for the women's race than the men, do you expect at any point that the wind will become a factor during the 5K? It seems to be coming up just slightly, but I don't think it's going to play. But what's your question again? What's your take on it?
The wind, it's still slight. It's not that great, but certainly the person in front is bearing the burden of that. Eva's stroke lends itself a bit more to the chop, and so I don't think it's going to affect her as much, but in her taking the lead, she's created an advantage for Haley, with or without the wind, but certainly when there's a bit of a chop. And Haley's settled in right behind her in her feet. And as I said, this lead pack has sort of developed a different sense here with about 7 women in this pack. It looks, however, that Eva is upping the game a bit. And so they're moving a little faster down this backstretch than they were on the first lap. And remember the strategy that comes into play, just like during the men's race. You're just trying to get in the head of your competitor. I want to break you away, and maybe I'm going to hold that. Or perhaps I'm just going to break you and then settle back in with you, and then hopefully I've got something a little bit more. There we go. We've got Asuka, a little bit of separation coming in.
Right out, ladies!
Hearing a few groans out there from the competition.
So, Mike, talk to us about Haley Anderson, the 5K world champion. Clearly, this is her bread and butter event in the open water format. She's an outstanding pool swimmer, former NCAA champion for USC. Got to believe that Anderson's going to be very difficult to beat in this kind of position and the way she looks today. Who in this pack do you think, if it's Anderson down the stretch, might have the speed to challenge her, if at all?
Well, know, we saw last year that Eva was right in there. Emily Bruneman, who's sitting out to focus on her events in Santa Clara in the pool, but she was right there. So last year we saw Eva, Haley, and Christine really putting a pitch in there along with Ashley Twitchell. But in today's race, I'd have to say, you know, if it came down, I really want to watch Christine Jennings. That altitude, coming down from altitude, that's obviously a big benefit. Becca Mann was traded up in altitude with North Baltimore Aquatic, and it certainly held her in good stead yesterday in the 10K. Christine Jennings now stopping to take a little bit of a feed. So she's back, now she's back in the game, and the pack has kind of opened up a little bit, so nobody's really got much of a drafting advantage. But Haley does have amazing speed. She really does close it well, and she did it in London in the 10K, so she's, every one of these races, she keeps building more and more credibility, I think, in her own mind, more than anyone else's. You can't dismiss the fact that she has that tremendous international success. But as I mentioned, it's exciting and gratifying to see her really kind of embrace open water swimming as her own.
And Mike, we see the strategy there as the leaders change position once again. It's Fabian out in front, but where Anderson was drafting behind Fabian before, we can't tell who that is in the yellow cap, but somebody's moved in a nice draft position. Talk to us a little bit about what drafting really allows the swimmers to encounter and how it can help them on energy expenditure.
Well, that looks like it's Aaron Enery from Sandpiper of Nevada, who's kind of come into that second position right now. And, you know, what drafting does is, just like in cycling or auto racing, it gives advantage to the person who can sit in that draft. But at the same time, they are at the mercy of the person who's leading. So even though they may be conserving energy, for some of the more novice swimmers, if they're not really in tune with pacing and what it takes to get through a race of this distance, you know, it could fry them. And so right now, maybe Eva's looking over at Aaron and saying, hey, you know, I haven't seen you in a lot of these races yet, and I'm going to let you give it a go. We saw yesterday Megan Rankin, a phenomenal swimmer, do a great job, led a lot of the women's race. But when it came down to the end, that energy that she had exerted throughout the race made it difficult for her to hang with the pack. So that's the big part of drafting, and it can kind of go two ways on you.
And it certainly looked like Eva Fabian there handed the lead over to Emery. Emery had slipped into that draft position behind Fabian. Fabian basically looked over her shoulder and said, come on up. And now Fabian separates a bit from Emery as they battle for the lead. Mike, give us, when you can, a rundown maybe on the top 5 or 6.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for correcting the last name. I've got a crease in my paper, so I wasn't sure if it was Ernery or Emery, but now I'm very clear. And yeah, Emery's up there right next to Eva Fabian. They're 1-2 in the lead position. Behind is Christine Jennings. Kelsey Cummings, Club Wolverine is. Oh no, actually, let me take that back. Let me do another check here. Oh, that's Jessica Wolf, Club Wolverine, University of Michigan. She's in the 4th position right now. Haley Anderson's dropped back a little bit into the 5th position. Casey Francis, number 12 from Pinecrest, is currently riding next to Anderson. That's just in the straight across line. They're now Christine Jennings kind of making her own way here all by herself. See how this holds off for her. Eva is a bilateral breather, is able to keep tabs on both Aaron Emery, who's just below her to the right, and Christine Jennings above her to the left. More advantageous for Christine Jennings to be out to the left side, given that she's a right side breather. But the pace has settled a bit as we come into this section of the course.
So the ladies are making their way towards buoy number 3 on circuit number 2 of 3 here at the 2014 USA Swimming Open Water National Championships. Great to have you folks with us here as we now are working through the back half of this women's 5K event. Ladies moving around buoy number 3. And it appears that Emery had the inside position over Eva Fabian. 2 ladies right behind their feet. Field thinning out just a bit.
Coming down the back section here, it's still Emery and Fabian side by side, Emery on the inside. So there we saw Aaron Emery had to go back and make a correction. Little bit of a problem there. She came on the inside of the buoy. That took her from the second position. Now she's still with the lead pack, but found herself moving back there. Now it's Eva Fabian in front.
Hey, Mike, can you give us an overview on that again? What occurred going around that fourth buoy?
Just alongside her, Christine Jennings. And then back in the 4-5 position, Tristan Baxter, Haley Anderson. Haley now a little boxed in, I think trying to move Tristan off a bit, trying to see if maybe she can get up there. Now she sees an opportunity to maybe come up through the middle between Wolf and Jennings.
Mike, once again, if you get a moment, can you go back to that fourth buoy situation and give us an update on that?
Well, what happened in the fourth buoy is that Aaron Emery came in to the right of it and then realized, holy cow, I got to go back. So she was forced to retrace her steps. She's still with the lead pack, but she went from the second position back towards the back of the pack there. Now Eva Fabian setting the pace in the lead. Jessica Wolf, Christine Jennings. Next there. Casey Francis. Haley Anderson and Tristan Baxter behind them. Fabian looks like she's correcting a little bit here. She's been a little bit on the inside as we come down the front stretch. So she's moved over a little bit. I think we'll see the pack take more of a direct line. Unlikely to see it split up too much. Megan Burns of Nation Capital been dealing with a loss of goggles, so that's a tough one. She's towards the back of the pack in the light blue silicone cap.
So, Mike, we have an opportunity here occasionally. Somebody reaches out to us and sends us a question, so we're going to send you a question from somebody watching online. They said, based on your perspective and how this race has gone thus far, when do you think the push will come here to try and break this pack apart?
That's a great question, and it's one that I think no one can truly have the answer to, but we're starting to see a little bit of a pace change right now, and we're apt to see this up and down between the swimmers, but I am really feeling we're going to see something similar to what we saw in the men's race, where we're going to see 4, maybe 5 of these swimmers break apart and then just make a big go for it at the end. I would have thought that if we were going to see a really, really big breakaway, we would have seen that executed by this point.
So the ladies are making their way to the wrap-up of circuit number 2. Look out across the beach. You can see them out there. The field now is significantly smaller than it was just one circuit ago. And you really get the feeling something is going to happen here soon, as Mike was mentioning. Got a lot of veteran experience in there, along with some youth, some newcomers out there in the front pack. Who's it going to be? What a shot there of our leaders as Haley Anderson has moved up to challenge for the lead once again against Eva Fabian. Great camera shots from the lead boat. Crystal clear. You can see the looks on their faces as they stare each other right in the eye. Very interesting perspective there on our lead swimmers.
Sam? So here we go. It's Haley Anderson's now moved into that lead position ever so slightly there next to Eva Fabian. And I think stroke by stroke, they're just going to call them even in the number 1. So the pace has slowed just a little bit right here in the race. And it'll be interesting to see if there's little bursts as we go through this final lap. Anderson, very relaxed. Her stroke rate slowed up. Her kick, non-existent. Apparently, those would be indicators that she's just doing her best to conserve energy here. But behind them, Tristan Baxter, yeah, that's Kristen Baxter, Jessica Wolf, Christine Jennings and Kelsey Cummings. They're really tightly bunched there. Christine Jennings in probably the really disadvantageous position she's in. But they are working well together. It doesn't seem like there's too much tie-up, but they are very, very closely bunched. This entire lead pack.
Ladies making their way around
still
the first buoy.
Back of that pack without those goggles. That is that really takes a lot of strength, but she's staying with it, not letting that get to her.
Admin to ref 1, swimmer 24 is on shore.
Copy.
So the ladies have rounded buoy number 2 and are making their way down the backstretch of the final lap here in the Women's 5K Open Water National Championships. Eva Fabian and Haley Anderson side by side for the last 300 or 400 meters. A big pack of ladies behind them. Several ladies with a shot at a top finish here. We'll see how it shakes out as they work their way through the latter stages of our final open water event of the weekend.
As you'd expect, the tempo has picked up. Anderson definitely looking more aggressive. Next to her, Fabian. Tristan Baxter now in her strongest position of the race. Kelsey Cummings there now sitting in about the 4th position. Christine Jennings now is a better position in the pack. She's not boxed in. And it looks as though she's trying to move up a little bit. But right now it's Haley and Eva that are really putting it on here and setting a real strong pace as we head on down the backstretch.
This push by the leaders should definitely rattle the field. Take a look out there. We would expect the field to begin to thin out and stretch out behind Anderson and Fabian. These ladies have definitely picked up the pace. The intensity level's coming up, folks. And the ladies behind the leaders have got some work to do to hang with them. They're doing a good job, but it has turned into a race now. Folks, find your way down to the point in the next few minutes, and let's get these ladies home when the time comes.
Without a doubt, they have stepped it up, and as you said, everybody's fighting to stay in it, and I think, again, a testament to the strength of open water swimming in the United States for our women. This is a solid pack staying together here. Conceivably, everybody's still in the hunt, but they are definitely going to have to contend with that very, very fast closing speed that both Eva and Haley are going to bring toward the end. Christine Jennings as well. Again, watching on the webcast, Behind Haley Anderson in the Trojan cap, Eva Fabian in the Yale cap, Kelsey Cummings, Club Wolverine, Tristan Baxter in the middle, and Christine Jennings up above her. They're still moving, but it looks like things are relaxing just ever so slightly. Haley Anderson looking smooth, not much of a kick. That's one of the things we look for at this point in the race is there anybody that's looking like they're putting a little bit more legs into it? Because that certainly can take it out of you and is going to be to the detriment of the swimmers as they come down that final push. So much strategy at play with these veterans, as we saw with Alex Meyer. You know, you want to really position yourself coming into that final shoot in a way that maybe even throws your competitor in a position where they have to either go off or move to another line. But right now, this whole pack just moving really, really well together. As we get to this section of the course, the wind seems to be a bit more of a factor right here on the lake. Now, just as it's a factor at this point, it's in terms of a disadvantage, it's an advantage coming down the backside, adding a little bit more speed. Looks like Eva's putting a little bit more go in it now. Haley's staying with her. Here it comes. We're getting a little bit more aggressive out there in terms of stroke rate. A little bit more legs. From this vantage point, Tristan Baxter has a pretty nice little spot there. She gets clean water between the two of them, and she's kind of getting pushed along nicely. That could certainly be an advantage when it comes down to the end of the race. But it's a very, very dicey position there in the middle. But what we're looking at here is she able to grab on to clean water? And when I'm talking about clean water, I'm talking about water that's not affected with a lot of air that's been pushed down from the kick of the swimmers in front of her. That affects the density of the water and the swimmer's ability to hold on to it. Eva really up in the game now, trying to pull away, inching ever so slightly. Haley staying right with her. Now Anderson up just with a very slight advantage. When I talk about slight, I'm talking about inches, if not centimeters.
Well, the ladies are going to make it very interesting down the stretch of this 5K Open Water National
Anderson's gonna
Championship.
have a better position going into this buoy, but certainly all of these women are going to make a big push here.
So the ladies make their way towards the third buoy. Still a pretty tightly packed bunch. It's stretched out a bit behind the leaders as Haley and Eva stroke for stroke across the last 800 meters. Right now, it's Haley Anderson just ahead of Eva Fabian through that third buoy.
It's always interesting for an open water fan, but this is really, really interesting here as we head into this segment of the race. Because this is the point at which the chess match really takes place, and that's talking about the strategy that the
Just a quick reminder, all officials that need to be involved with our finishing process to the finish chute, please.
question that was asked earlier about will it come down to a sprint and how big will this group be? I'm going to say the group's going to be pretty large. It could be as big as 5 or 6. But right now it looks like they've slowed it up just a bit, conserving. Coming around the final tetrahedral buoy. Henderson has the advantage there on the inside. Gains a little bit of a lead. Working a bit to open it up. Her and Eva have opened it up a bit. Christine Jennings making a go of it along with them. Christine Jennings separating now from Tristan Baxter. Jennings coming up strong. Jennings coming up behind Anderson. She wants to keep them, it's to her advantage to keep them to her left, being that she's a right side breather. Although now it looks like she's maybe trying to move up in the middle. Just like we talked about. You kind of get that double draft position if you can get into that pocket between two swimmers.
Folks, it is really getting tight out there. Come on down and take a look.
Letting Fabian come up a little bit closer to her now. Jennings right on her hip, closest to the boat. Okay, here comes Anderson making yet a bit of another push. Really trying to get that line as ideal as possible coming into this green fluorescent salmon buoy up here. Anderson breathing bilateral, keeping an eye on Christine Jennings to her right, Eva Fabian to her left.
They are 3 abreast, folks, as they head their way towards the final buoy and into the chute. Christine Jennings now into the hunt.
Yeah, now Christine Jennings has come up, and I think she wants to see if she can set the agenda here. Remember, she's got that altitude advantage. Living and training up in Boulder, Colorado. Yeah, Jennings looking real strong. She's making a real good move up above her, Tristan Baxter.
What a race we have, folks, as the lead boat comes into sight around the point. come on down and let them hear you as Christine Jennings has taken the lead.
Just like we thought, it's come up to a group of 5. Out of this group of 5 is going to come our winner, Christine Jennings, making a go of it. Haley Anderson now moving to the outside. She put a block on Tristan Baxter there. A little bit of incidental contact, but she corrects it. Okay, they're cutting it in. There's Fabian. She's going to be on the inside. She dips under the buoy a little bit there. Now they're going to be working it. Keeping that line. Still watching for that point when we see that rooster tailing, when those kicks really come in strong. Tristan Baxter now making a really big push up there, closest to the boat, away from the shore. Jennings closest to the shore. Eva Fabian right next to her. Here comes Haley Anderson up the middle, looking very strong with that amazingly close speed that we see all the time. Is this her pull away? She looks like she's doing it. Haley Anderson in the lead with a commanding lead. Up next, it looks like from this perspective, Tristan Baxter. Eva Fabian just below Christine Jennings. Christine Jennings sliding over next to Baxter. But it's Haley Anderson in the lead, and it looks like Anderson's going to be able to maintain this lead all the way through, even though here comes Baxter coming up strong behind her. But Anderson has a really, really good position, and Anderson is going to make it all the way through. The big fight is going to be for silver medal. But Anderson coming through strong. It looks like it's going to be Anderson all the way coming through. Tristan Baxter on the outside looking really good as well. First it's Anderson, Tristan Baxter, and then Eva Fabian, Christine Jennings. Kelsey Cummings in the 5th position.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion in the women's 5K, Haley Anderson of Trojan. What a race throughout the entire 5K. Christine Jennings made it very interesting across the latter stages of circuit number 3, but Haley Anderson, the veteran experience, laying back there and saving the energy she needed for the final push. And when it came down to it, Haley Anderson had a gear that nobody else could match. Fine swimming by the ladies in our lead pack. Tristan Baxter appeared to be second. It was very close. Maybe Eva Fabian was third, followed by Christine Jennings. But we'll wait for the official results. But right now, we'll say congratulations again to Haley Anderson of Trojan Swim Club.
Sam, I asked Becca Mann about what she loved best about open water swimming, and she said it's the fun of talking about the race afterwards. And watch these women as they're here past the finish chute. They're all talking about what was happening out there. And that's one thing that's very unique to open water swimming. Everybody gets in, they want to start to share their stories, congratulate each other. They know how hard each one of them fought. And it's just really exciting to see that camaraderie and spirit in the sport. Watching Haley Anderson there, she's going to wait for her sister to come in. This is really another special moment.
Yes, please.
Watch yourself. Hold on, Randy. Brace yourself.
Hey, watch out.
Pull it up here. Okay. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big thank you to our crew there on the lead boat. And a special thank you to Mike Lewis, once again doing a stellar job on our 2 open water events today. High energy Mike Lewis, always ready to help out with the race call. Mike, great job as always. We'll be looking for our top 8 men. Top 8 men to the awards staging area. Alex, Jordan, Joey, Arthur, David, Chip, Dan, and Taylor. Top 8 men to the awards staging area, please. Test.
Oh yeah, that was always good.
Test 1 2. Test. 1 2.
Good job announcing.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you for the
Here comes some more of our ladies as they wrap up their 5K open water effort. Let's give these ladies a round of applause as they hit the finish banner. Great job. We'll track down our winner, Haley Anderson, in just a moment and get an interview with her. And we'll remind our top 8 men to please report to the awards staging area. And as our last swimmer appears to be wrapping up there, let's give her a big round of applause. How about a round of applause also for all of those lifeguards and safety crew members that you see out there, our unsung heroes. They've been working just as hard. They did both events, not just one. Big thank you to all the folks here from Canyons and Lake Castaic for a great job. Great effort, great organization, great hospitality.